here. I swear it's hard to keep these feelings to myself. Oh, I can't sing. I can't sing. It's hard to keep these feelings to myself. Now you're the one I'm thinking of. My rock, my rock. Rockin' ball. By gravity, I'd rather stay up here because we can get away. Palm trees, beach views, ordinary day. All I want to hear is, don't mind me. I don't know how I'm feeling right now. I'm all right with it though. I'm all right. Mm-hmm. Nope. It'll never work on Instagram the first time I go. It never works. Oh, we gonna chat tonight, y'all. Mm-hmm. I'm relatively on time. We gonna chat tonight before we read anything. We need to talk. We gotta talk about this thing. So, what's up? What's up? Welcome in. I had a bandana on my hair all day, so I don't know what it's doing, but we making it work. What's up? What's up? Welcome in. Welcome in. I got my pink shirt. It's Wednesday, so there's wine, and you can't see it, but it is, in fact, hold on, I don't know if y'all can see it. It's a pink tie-dye shirt. Pink tie-dye. You can see it very clearly over here on Instagram. Welcome in. Welcome in. It is Wednesday. I'm wearing pink, and we have wine. And my lovely friend, she got some wine from work, and so we got ourselves some. This light is too dang on bright. Got ourselves some Cabernet Sauvignon. Okay. Let me see. The bluish. I don't know how I feel about it, but I think it works when I wear lighter colors, so I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with it. What's up? What's up? We got the wine. I gotta actually open it. We gonna have a conversation, y'all. We gotta have a conversation. So when y'all come in, if y'all sticking around, let a sister know. Is this glass clean? Is it clean enough? Don't judge me. I live alone. Dishwashers. Dishwashers be doing it most of the time. Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm gonna open my wine because it's Wednesday, so we're gonna have some wine, and we wear pink because it's Wednesday. Welcome in. Welcome in, y'all. Okay. So those of y'all that are coming in, Facebook, people on Facebook, I don't know if we having issues on Facebook. So when you get in here, let us just know you here. My hair, I look like a damn villain with the little, not like them wheels. Yes, one. My lovely friend, she was at work, and she works for a delivery service. Well, not a delivery, but sangria has been talked about a lot on Twitter today. I don't know what was going on. I just kept seeing people say, if you don't like sangria, there's something wrong with you. And I'm like, how can you not like sangria? It's so delicious and fruity. Oh my gosh, why am I having such a hard time opening this wine? It literally is just some foil. Thank you. All right, y'all. It didn't seem like anybody was really rocking with the book yesterday. So we got to talk. We got to figure out where everybody is, how everybody's feeling about the new book situation. So, happy Black History Month, y'all. Welcome in. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Yeah, y'all get to watch me struggle to open a bottle of wine. I'm trying not to break the cork. Yay, yay, yay. This is why you do these things beforehand, before you film or turn on the camera. If this just come out, secure ass cork. It's a beautiful cork though. It's a beautiful cork. Has these nice designs. Look how deep that red is on the end of that cork. Oh, you know this is actually a nice bottle of wine because that. How old is this? 2019. Is it a nice bottle of wine? It's Greek. That's pretty cool. Ish. What? There's Greek words on it. Anyway. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. Usually give it about 5 minutes before we get started. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if my people on Facebook can't see it or what's going on, y'all. If you see this and you're on Facebook, share it. If you're on Facebook, comment. Maybe they're just not here on Facebook. That could be it, which is fine, you know. But not having viewers during a book change is not ideal. You feel me? Let's go to, here we go. So we got this Cabernet. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so if you guys are in here, I started a new book yesterday. I started A Taste of Power. But it kind of came to my attention that while this is an excellent book and a very interesting book, it does not give the kind of engagement opportunity that other books give, if that makes sense. So welcome to Reading with MissTaylorSaid. Before we get into any reading, welcome to Reading with MissTaylorSaid. I am Taylor, also known as MissTaylorSaid, and I started the show for 3 reasons back on November 30th, 2020. I wanted to accomplish some goals. One of those goals being to read the books that I own. I have accumulated a lot of books over the years from college, given to me, bought, all of those things. I've started a lot of the books, didn't finish them, or just haven't started them at all. So one of the goals that I have is to actually complete the books that I have purchased or accumulated over the years and actually, read them through. Another goal that I have is that I want to get more comfortable with reading aloud in front of an audience in the way that like you would for a teleprompter or something like that. Because the things that I want to do in my career will involve me, reading from a teleprompter. And so I want to get more comfortable with reading aloud in front of an audience. And the last goal that I had is to get more comfortable with public speaking again. I used to be a public speaker back when I was in high school and college, and then it dropped off. So I want to get more comfortable with public speaking and engaging with an audience while I'm doing that. And the virtual platform gives me an excellent opportunity to be able to do that. So that is Reading with MissTaylorSaid. Sorry that I'm playing with my hair. I'm trying to get it to do things, and it's looking like completely two different hairs on both platforms is bothering me. But anyway, getting out of my hair. Started reading Taste of Power yesterday, and I like the book. I'm enjoying the book. However, like I said, I want to do this to engage with the audience. The book that we read before, Abundance Now, had a lot of exercises, a lot of moments where we could reflect on things and have conversations, and we could stop and have conversations about what we were talking about. And with this book, while again up my alley, definitely my taste, and I felt was really appropriate for it being Black History Month, it limits our engagement. And that is the point of the show. Like, I could pre-record this and post it, but the point of this show is for there to be engagement. So I definitely would like some feedback or questions if y'all have any. But I was thinking that we could go into a different direction. Start and start a different book and do a few more self-help type books or just life themed nonfiction books, just until we get a few more books under our belt, and then we can visit different genres. So the next book I have in line is The Four Agreements. Four Agreements is an excellent book. I've read it, I've listened to it, and so this is not exactly new information for me like the other one was. However, it is a book that I love to share, and it will offer us some engagement. So if you guys are feeling it, let me know in the comments, and I will give it a moment for y'all to let me know in the comments while I take a sip of wine. This is so good. Oh my gosh. This is so very good. This is very, very good. Big, bold, inky color. This is going to stain my teeth. So, yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start reading the Four Agreements. That way, again, we can have engagement in our episodes and in this show, because that's the most important thing for me at this point. I did want to mention one more thing. If you've missed the previous episodes over here on Instagram, you can go to the link in my bio to catch the first couple of weeks that were on my personal Facebook. There's a thread that I made on Twitter that shows those. And then the rest of the episodes are on IGTV. If you are just now watching on Facebook, then if you just look up Reading with Miss Taylor Said and go to November 30th, that is the first episode, and go in chronological order, and you can listen to the previous book that we read, Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. This book is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's a Toltec wisdom book, a practical guide to personal freedom. I really, really enjoy this book, and it's very short, very, very short. We'll finish it in a few days, honestly. But this book, let's see. In the Four Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz reveals the source of self-limiting beliefs that rob us of joy and creates needless suffering. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. We are reading the Four Agreements. We are reading the Four Agreements. To the circle of fire, those who have gone before, those who are present, and those who have yet to come. If you're just joining us on Facebook, we have jumped to the Four Agreements to increase on engagement. It's going to be better for us and I'm literally just starting the book now. So there are the acknowledgments. He lists a lot of people he wanted to acknowledge. So first chapter is the Toltec. Thousands of years ago, the Toltec were known throughout southern Mexico as women and men of knowledge. Anthropologists have spoken of the Toltec as a nation or a race, but in fact, the Toltec were scientists and artists who formed a society to explore and conserve the spiritual knowledge and practices of the ancient ones. They came together as masters, naguals, and students of the Teotihuacan, Teotihuacan, the ancient city of pyramids. Wow, that's probably something that I should be able to pronounce. But the ancient city of pyramids outside Mexico City, known as the place where man becomes God. Over the millennial, the Naguals were forced to conceal the ancestral wisdom and maintain its existence in obscurity. European conquests, coupled with rampant misuse of personal power by a few of the apprentices, made it necessary to shield the knowledge from those who were not prepared to use it wisely or who might intentionally misuse it for personal gain. Fortunately, the esoteric Toltec knowledge was embodied and passed on through generations by different lineages of Naguals. Though it remained veiled in secrecy for hundreds of years, ancient prophecies foretold the coming of an age when it would be necessary to return the wisdom to the people. Now, Don Miguel Ruiz, a Nagual from the Eagle Knight lineage, has been guided to share with us the powerful teachings of the Toltec. Toltec knowledge arises from the same essential unity of truth as all the sacred esoteric traditions found around the world. Though it is not religion, it honors all the spiritual masters who have taught on the earth. While it does embrace spirit, it is most accurately described as a way of life distinguished by the ready accessibility of happiness and love. Introduction. The Smoky Mirror. 3,000 years ago, there was a human just like you and me who lived near a city surrounded by mountains. The human was studying to become a medicine man, to learn the knowledge of his ancestors, but he didn't completely agree with everything he was learning. In his heart, he felt there must be something more. One day, as he slept in a cave, he dreamed that he saw his own body sleeping. He came out of the cave of the night on the night of the new moon. The sky was clear, and he could see millions of stars. Then something happened inside of him that transformed his body forever. He looked at his hands, he felt his body, and he heard his own voice say, I am made of light. I am made of stars. He looked at the stars again and he realized that it's not the stars that create light, but rather light that creates the stars. Everything is made of light, he said, and the space in between isn't empty. And he knew that everything that exists is one living being, and that light is the messenger of life, because it is alive and contains all information. Then he realized that although he was made of stars, he was not those stars. I am in between the stars, he thought. So he called the stars the tonal, and the light between the stars the nagual. And what he knew that what created the harmony in space between the two is life or intent. Without life, the tonal and the nagual could not exist. Life is the force of the absolute, the supreme, and the creator who creates everything. This is what he discovered. Everything in existence is a manifestation of the one living being we call God. Everything is God. And he came to the conclusion that human perception is merely light perceiving light. He also saw that matter is a mirror. Everything is a mirror that reflects light and creates images of that light. And the world of illusion, the dream, is just like smoke, which doesn't allow us to see what we really are. The real us is pure love, pure light, he said. This realization changed his life. Once he knew what he really was, he looked around at other humans and the rest of nature, and he was amazed at what he saw. He saw himself in everything, in every human, in every animal, in every tree, in the water, in the rain, in the clouds, in the earth. He saw that life mixed the tonal and the nagual in different ways to create billions of manifestations of life. In those few moments, he comprehended everything. He was very excited and his heart was filled with peace. He could hardly wait to tell his people what he had discovered, but there was no words to explain it. He tried to tell the others, but they could not understand. They could see that he had changed, that something beautiful was radiating from his eyes and his voice. They noticed that he no longer had judgment about anything or anyone. He was no longer like anyone else. He could understand everyone so well, but no one could understand him. They believed that he was an incarnation of God, and he smiled when he heard this and he said, It is true. I am God, but you are also God. We are the same, you and I. We are images of light. We are God. But still, the people didn't understand him. He had discovered that he was a mirror for the rest of the people, a mirror in which he could see himself. Everyone is a mirror, he said. He saw himself in everyone, but nobody saw him as themselves. And he realized that everyone was dreaming, but without awareness, without knowing what they really are. They couldn't see him as themselves because there was a wall of fog or smoke between the mirrors. And that wall of fog was made by the interpretation of images of light, the dream of humans. Then he knew that he would soon forget all that he had learned. He wanted to remember all the visions he had had, so he decided to call himself the smoky mirror, so that he would always know that matter is a mirror and that the smoke in between is what keeps us from knowing what we are. He said, I am the smoky mirror because I am looking at myself and all of you, but we don't recognize each other because of the smoke in between us. That smoke is the dream, and the mirror is you, the dreamer. Oh, shoot, the dreamer. That's so head ass. I'm sorry. I'm wearing a shirt, okay? Living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see. That's a quote by John Lennon. Chapter 1, the official chapter 1. Domestication and the dream of the planet. What you are seeing and hearing right now is nothing but a dream. You are dreaming right now in this moment. You are dreaming with the brain awake. Dreaming is the main function of the mind, and the mind dreams 24 hours a day. It dreams when the brain is awake. It also dreams when the brain is asleep. The difference is that when the brain is awake, there is a material frame that makes us perceive things in a linear way. When we go to sleep, we do not have the frame, and the dream has the tendency to change constantly. Humans are dreaming all of the time. Before we were born, the humans before us created a big outside dream that we will call society's dream or the dream of the planet. The dream of the planet is the collective dream of billions of smaller personal dreams, which together create a dream of a family, a dream of a community, a dream of a city, a dream of a country, and finally, a dream of the whole humanity. The dream of the planet includes all of society's rules, its beliefs, its laws, its religions, its different cultures and ways to be, its governments, schools, social events, and holidays. We are born with the capacity to learn how to dream, and the humans who live before us teach us how to dream the way society dreams. The outside dream has so many rules that when a new human is born, we hook the child's attention and introduce these rules into his or her mind. The outside dream uses mom and dad, the schools, and religion to teach us how to dream. Let's get into it. I'm going to drink some water and then I'm going to drink some wine because he about to get in our ass. Because it's about to be a read about how this is all a lie. I mean, it's already started, but you know. So let's, ooh, mm, ooh, like Martin and Jeannie used to do. Ooh. Anyway, it's actually really good. I'm being dramatic. Ooh. Attention is the ability we have to discriminate and to focus only on that which we want to perceive. We can perceive millions of things simultaneously, but using our attention, we can only hold whatever we want to perceive in the foreground of our mind. The adults around us hooked our attention and put information into our minds through repetition. That is the way we learned everything we know. By using our attention, we learned a whole reality, a whole dream. We learned how to behave in society, what to believe and what not to believe, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, what is good and what is bad, what is beautiful and what is ugly, what is right and what is wrong. It was all there already. All that knowledge, all those rules and concepts about how to behave in the world. When we were in school, you sat in a little chair and put your attention on what the teacher was teaching you. When you went to church, you put your attention on what the priest or minister was telling you. It is the same dynamic with mom and dad, brothers and sisters. They were all trying to hook your attention. We also learn to hook the attention of other humans, and we develop a need for attention, which can become very competitive. Children compete for the attention of their parents, their teachers, and their friends. Look at me, look at what I'm doing. Hey, I'm here. The need for attention becomes very strong and continues into adulthood. The outside dream hooks our attention and teaches us what to believe, beginning with the language that we speak. Language is the code for understanding and communication between humans. Every word, every letter in each language is an agreement. We call this a page in a book. The word page is an agreement that we understand. Once we understand the code, our attention is hooked and the energy is transferred from one person to another. It was not your choice to speak English. You didn't choose your religion or your moral values. They were already there before you were born. We never had the opportunity to choose what to believe and what not to believe. We never chose even the smallest of those agreements. We didn't even choose our own name. As children, we didn't have the opportunity to choose our beliefs, but we agreed with the information that was passed to us from the dream of the planet via other humans. The only way to store information is by agreement. The outside dream may hook your attention, but if we don't agree, we don't store that information. As soon as we agree, we believe it. And this is called faith. To have faith is to believe unconditionally. That's how we learn as children. Children believe everything adults say. We agree with them, and our faith is so strong that the belief system controls our whole dream of life. We didn't choose these beliefs. We may have rebelled against them, but we were not strong enough to win the rebellion. The result is surrender to the beliefs with our agreement. Ooh, he's saying something. He's saying something right there. It makes me feel so existential whenever I read stuff like that. That like it's like it turns on the existential nihilistic part of me that's like, bro, like everything, me wearing metal bars in my ears and wearing a shirt and being on this internet, and every single thing that we do, everything that we've decided, these words that are coming out of my mouth, the hand movements I'm using, every single thing was an agreement that was made by things that were taught to us. And that is a mind fuck that no one is ever prepared for. Woo. Ooh. Okay. All right. I call this process the domestication of humans. And though this domestication we learn, and through this domestication, we learn how to live and how to dream. In human domestication, the information from the outside dream is conveyed to the inside dream, creating our whole belief system. First, the child is taught the names of things: mom, dad, milk, bottle. Day by day, at home, at school, at church, and from television, we are told how to live, what kind of behavior is acceptable. The outside dream teaches us how to be human. We have a whole concept of what a woman is and what a man is. And we also learn to judge. We judge ourselves, judge other people, judge the neighbors. Everything is a social construct. That's all I ever be saying, bro. That's all I be saying. Everything's a social damn construct. It just is. It just is. Ah, that looks a lot better. Is it? Does it? I can't tell. I think it does. I think it does. Whatever. You can see the pink better. Anyway. Ooh. Children are domesticated the same way that we domesticate a dog, a cat, or any other animal. In order to teach a dog, we punish the dog and we give it rewards. We train children. We train our children, whom we love so much, the same way that we train any domesticated animal, with a system of punishment and reward. We are told you're a good boy or you're a good girl when we do what mom and dad want us to do. When we don't, we are a bad girl or a bad boy. Because words mean things. Because words mean things. It is the agreement that we made. We agree that words mean things, and then we use the words, and we don't expect those words to be internalized by our brains, even though we are intentionally using the words in the direction of a person. Anyway, whoo! I know what book we're probably going to be doing next after the second book of this. When we went against the rules, we were punished. When we went along with the rules, we got a reward. We were punished many times a day, and we were also rewarded many times a day. Soon, we became afraid of being punished and also afraid of not receiving the reward. The reward is the attention that we got from our parents or from other people like siblings, teachers, and friends. We soon develop a need to hook other people's attention in order to get the reward. The reward feels good, and we keep doing what others want us to do in order to get the reward. With that fear of being punished and that fear of not getting the reward, we start pretending to be what we are not just to please others, just to be good enough for someone else. Wow, what a shitty existence. We try to please mom and dad. We try to please the teachers at school. We try to please the church. So we start acting. We pretend to be what we are not because we are afraid of being rejected. The fear of being rejected becomes the fear of not being good enough. Eventually, we become someone that we are not. We become a copy of mama's beliefs, daddy's beliefs, society's beliefs, and religion's beliefs. All our normal tendencies are lost in the process of domestication. And when we are old enough to mind, when we are old enough for our mind to understand, we learn the word no. The adults say, don't do this and don't do that. We rebel and say, no. We rebel because we are defending our freedom. We want to be ourselves, but we are very little, and the adults are big and strong. After a certain time, we are afraid because we know that every time we do something wrong, we are going to be punished. The domestication is so strong that at certain points in our lives, we no longer need anyone to domesticate us. We don't need mom and dad, the school, or the church to domesticate us. We are so well trained that we are our own domesticator. We are an auto-domesticated animal. We can now domesticate ourselves according to the same belief system we were given and using the same system of punishment and reward. We punish ourselves when we don't follow the rules, and according to our belief system, we reward ourselves when we are a good boy or a good girl. The belief system is like a book of law that rules our mind. Without question, whatever is in that book of law is our truth. We base all of our judgments according to the book of law, even if these judgments go against our inner nature. Even moral laws like the Ten Commandments are programmed into our mind in the process of domestication. One by one, all of these agreements go into the book of law, and these agreements rule our dream. There is something in our minds that judges everybody and everything, including the weather, the dog, the cat, everything. The inner judge uses what is in our book of law to judge everything we do and don't do, everything we think and don't think, and everything we feel and don't feel. Everything lives under the tyranny of this judge. Every time we do something that goes against the book of law, the judge says that we are guilty. We need to be punished. We should be ashamed. This happens many times a day after day, and for all the years of our lives. There's another part of us that receives the judgments, and this is called the victim. The victim carries the blame, the guilt, and the shame. It is the part of us that says, poor me, I'm not good enough. I'm not intelligent enough. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not worthy of love. Poor me. The big judge agrees and says, yes, you are not good enough. And this is all based on the belief system that we never chose to believe. These beliefs are so strong that even years later, when we are exposed to new concepts and try to make our own decisions, we find that these beliefs still control our lives. Whatever goes against the book of law will make you feel a funny sensation in your solar plexus. That's right here. That's right here in your stomach. And it's called fear. Breaking the rules in the book of law opens your emotional wounds, and your reaction is to create emotional poison. Because everything that is in the book of law has to be true. Anything that challenges what you believe is going to make you feel unsafe. Even if the book of law is wrong, it makes you feel safe. This is why we need a great deal of courage to challenge our own beliefs. Because if we know we didn't choose all of these beliefs, it is also true that we agreed to all of them. The agreement is so strong that even if we understand the concept of it not being true, we feel the blame, the guilt, and the shame that occur if we go against these rules. Just as the government has a book of laws that rule the society's dream, our belief system is the book of laws that rules our personal dream. All of these laws exist in our mind. We believe them, and the judge inside us bases everything on these rules. The judge decrees, and the victim suffers the guilt and punishment. But who says there is justice in this dream? True justice is paying only once for each mistake. True justice is only paying once for each mistake. True injustice is paying more than once for each mistake. How many times do we pay for one mistake? How many times do we pay for one mistake? The answer is thousands of times. The human is the only animal on earth that pays 1,000 times for the same mistake. The rest of the animals pay once for every mistake they make. But not us. We have a powerful memory. We make a mistake, we judge ourselves, we find ourselves guilty, and we punish ourselves. If justice exists, then that was enough. If justice exists, then that was enough. We don't need to do it again. But every time we remember, we judge ourselves again. We are guilty again. We punish ourselves again and again and again. If we have a wife or a husband, he or she also reminds us of the mistake so we can judge ourselves again, punish ourselves again, and find ourselves guilty again. Is that fair? Is that fair? How many times do we make our spouse, our children, or our parents pay for the same mistake? Every time we remember the mistake, we blame them again and send them all the emotional poison we feel. Oh, excuse me. All the emotional poison we feel at that injustice. And then we make them pay again for the same mistake. Is that justice? The judge in the mind is wrong because the belief system, the book of law, is wrong. The whole dream is based on a false law. 95% of the beliefs we have stored in our minds are nothing but lies, and we suffer because we believe all of these lies. Oh, I wish somebody was in here tonight so that we could have a word. I wish somebody was in here tonight so that we could have a word because we believe all of these lies. Why are we punishing ourselves? And this is myself included. Why are we punishing ourselves for making the same mistakes? Why are we punishing ourselves? Why are we so mean to ourselves? Why do our brains say, no, you're a bad person because you didn't get it right? You're a bad person for failing out of school. You're a bad person for getting into that relationship. You're a bad person for not doing good with your money. You're like literally, if you think about, because I'm always going to bring it back to how I don't like capitalism and stuff. If you bring it back to capitalism, literally people think that because you're poor, whether it's by generational poverty or by a mistake that happened that led you to poverty, like people think that because you're poor, you're a bad person. There are people that believe that. There are people that believe that. Or because you make a mistake over and over and over again. And I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it because we were raised to be judgmental. We were raised to measure people by we were raised what's this on my screen? Oh, it's a wave. We were raised to measure people by like the things that by the rules that we were raised in. So if for example, I know people that are fat phobic and they were raised to believe that people that are bigger than them are less worthy. And so when they see somebody that is minding their own business, living their own life, dress how they want to dress, comfortable or not, they might be wearing something really nice and really confident in it. Or they might be chilling and wearing something comfortable and they minding their business. They minding their business. And they'll make comments about them. They'll make comments about them and tell you mean things and harmful things about them. And it's just like, was what was the point of that? What was the purpose of that poison onto that person? What did they're literally minding their business. Oh, because I was yawning. Wine makes me sleepy, child. Anyway, anyway, bruh, one of these days, people gonna learn to mind their business. Y'all remember that Vine? That chick that looked like Eric, she low-key looked like Erykah Badu. She had the bright eyes and everything. She was driving, she was like, you see what I did just then? I'm minding my business. You should try it sometime. That was one of my favorite vines. That video lives rent free in my head. Anyway, in the dream of the planet, it is normal for humans to suffer, to live in fear, and to create emotional dramas. Mm, 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 mm. A word, a word. The four agreements is a freaking word today. Um, the outside dream is not a pleasant dream. It is a dream of violence, a dream of fear, a dream of war, a dream of injustice. The personal dream of humans will vary, but globally, it is mostly a nightmare. But globally, it's let's like it. I'm gonna read it again. In the dream of the planet, it is normal for humans to suffer, to live in fear, and to create emotional dramas. The outside dream is not a pleasant dream. It is a dream of violence, a dream of fear, a dream of war, a dream of injustice. The personal dream of humans will vary, but globally, it is mostly a nightmare. If we look at human society, we see a place so difficult to live in because it is ruled by fear. Throughout the world, we see human suffering, anger, revenge, addictions, violence in the street, and tremendous injustice. It may exist at different levels in different countries around the world, but fear is controlling the outside dream. Mr. Ruiz got a word. If we compare the dream of human society with the description of hell that religions all around the world have prom, prom, promo, promulgated, we find that we are exactly the same. We are exactly the same. Religions say that hell is a place of punishment, a place of fear, pain, and suffering, a place where the fire burns you. Fire is generated by emotions that come from fear. Whenever we feel the emotions of anger, jealousy, envy, or hate, we experience a fire burning within us. We are living in a dream of hell. If you consider hell as a state of mind, then hell is all around us. Hmm. Hell is all around us. Where is it? I lost my place. Others may warn us that if we don't do what they say we should do, we will go to hell. Bad news. We are already in hell, including the people who tell us that. No human can condemn another to hell because we are already there. Others can put us into a deeper hell, true, but only if we allow this to happen. Every human has his or her own person. Every human has their own personal dream, and just like the society dream, it is often ruled by fear. We learn to dream hell in our own life, in our personal dream. The same fears manifest in different ways for each person, of course, but we experience anger, jealousy, hate, envy, and other negative emotions. Our personal dream can also become an ongoing nightmare where we suffer and live in a state of fear. But we don't need to dream a nightmare. It is possible to enjoy a pleasant dream. All of humanity is searching for truth, justice, and beauty. We are on an eternal search for the truth because we only believe in the lies we have stored in our mind. We are searching for justice because in the belief system we have, there is no justice. Because there is no justice. We search for beauty because it doesn't matter how beautiful a person is, we don't believe that person has beauty. We keep searching and searching when everything is already within us. There is no truth to find. Wherever we turn our heads, all we see is the truth. But with the agreements and beliefs we have stored in our mind, we have no eye for this truth. We don't see the truth because we are blind. What blinds us are all those false beliefs we have in our mind. We have the need to be right and to make others wrong. We trust what we believe, and our beliefs set us up for suffering. It is as if we live in the middle of a fog that doesn't let us see any further than our own nose. We live in a fog that's not even real. This fog is a dream. Your personal dream of life, what you believe, all the concepts you have about what you are, all the agreements you have made with others, with yourself, and even with God. Your whole mind is a fog, which the Toltecs called mitote. Mitote. Your mind is a dream where 1,000 people talk at the same time and nobody understands each other. This is the condition of the human mind, a big mitote. And with that big mitote, you cannot see what you really are. In India, they call you the mitote maya, which means illusion. It is the personality's notion of I am. Everything you believe about yourself in the world, all the concepts and programming you have in your mind are all the mitote, the mitote. We cannot see who we truly are. We cannot see that we are not free. That is why humans resist life. That is why humans resist life. To be alive is the biggest fear humans have. Death is not the biggest fear we have. Death is not our biggest fear is taking the risk to be alive. The risk to be alive and express what we really are. Just being ourselves is the biggest fear of humans. Just being ourselves is the biggest fear of humans. Just being ourselves is the biggest fear of humans. Come on now. We have learned to live our lives trying to satisfy other people's demands. We have learned to live by other people's points of view because of the fear of not being accepted and of not being good enough for someone else. During the process of domestication, we form an image of what perfection is in order to try to be good enough. We create an image of how we should be in order to be accepted by everybody. We especially try to please the ones who love us, like mom and dad, big brothers and sisters, the priests and the teachers. Trying to be good enough for them, we create an image of perfection, but we don't fit this image. We create this image, but this image is not real, and we're never going to be perfect from this point of view. Never. Not being perfect, we reject ourselves. And the level of self-rejection depends upon how effective the adults were in breaking our integrity. After domestication, it is no longer about being good enough for anybody else. We are not good enough for ourselves because we don't fit with our own image of perfection. We cannot forgive ourselves for not being what we wish to be, or rather, what we believe we should be. We cannot forgive ourselves for not being perfect. We know we are not what we believe we're supposed to be, and so we feel false, frustrated, and dishonest. We try to hide ourselves and we pretend to be what we are not. The result is that we feel unauthentic and wear social masks. That's kind of funny. To keep others from noticing this. We are so afraid that somebody else will notice that we are not what we pretend to be. We judge others according to our image of perfection as well, and naturally, they fall short of our expectations. We dishonor ourselves just to please other people. We even do harm to our physical bodies just to be accepted by others. You see teenagers taking drugs just to avoid being rejected by other teenagers. They are not aware that the problem is that they don't accept themselves. They reject themselves because they are not what they pretend to be. They wish to be a certain way, but they are not. And for this, they carry shame and guilt. Humans punish themselves endlessly for not being what they believe they should be. They become very self abusive and they use people to abuse themselves as well. But nobody abuses us more than we abuse ourselves. And it is the judge, the victim, and the belief system that make us do this. True, we find people who say their husband or wife or mother or father abused them, but you know that we abuse ourselves much more than that. The way we judge ourselves is the worst judge that ever existed. If we make a mistake in front of people, we try to deny the mistake and cover it up. But as soon as we are alone, the judge becomes so strong, the guilt is so strong, and we feel so stupid or so bad or so unworthy. In your whole life, nobody has ever abused you more than you have abused yourself. And the limit of your self-abuse and the limit of your self-abuse is exactly the limit that you will tolerate from someone else. If someone abuses you a little more than you abuse yourself, you will probably walk away from that person. But if someone abuses you a little less than you abuse yourself, you will probably stay in the relationship and tolerate it endlessly. If you abuse yourself very badly, you can even tolerate someone who beats you up, humiliates you, and treats you like dirt. Why? Because in your belief system, you say, I deserve this. This person is doing me a favor by being with me. I am not worthy of love and respect. I'm not good enough. We have the need to be accepted and to be loved by others, but we cannot accept and love ourselves. The more self love we have, the less we will experience self abuse. Self abuse comes from self rejection, and self rejection comes from having an image of what it means to be perfect and never measuring up to that ideal. Our image of perfection is the reason we reject ourselves. It is why we don't accept ourselves the way we are and why we don't accept others the way they are. Prelude to a New Dream. There are thousands of agreements you have made with yourself and with other people and with your dream of life, with God, with society, with your parents, with your spouse, with your children. But the most important agreements are the ones you made with yourself. In these agreements, you tell yourself who you are, what you feel, what you believe, and how to behave. The result is what you call your personality. In these agreements, you say, this is what I am. This is what I believe. I can do certain things and some things I cannot do. This is reality. That is fantasy. This is possible. That is impossible. One single agreement is not such a problem, but we have many agreements that make us suffer, that make us fail in life. If you want to live a life of joy and fulfillment, you have to find the courage to break those agreements that are fear based and claim your personal power. The agreements that come from fear require us to expend a lot of energy, but the agreements that come from love help us conserve energy and even gain extra energy. Each of us is born with a certain amount of personal power that we rebuild every day after we rest. Unfortunately, we spend all of our personal power first to create all these agreements and then to keep these agreements. Our personal power is dissipated by all the agreements we have created, and the result is that we feel powerless. And we have just enough power to survive each day because most of it is used to keep the agreements that trap us in the dream of the planet. How can we change the entire dream of our life when we have no power to change even the smallest agreement? If we can see it is our agreements that rule our own life and we don't like the dream of our life, we need to change the agreements. When we are finally ready to change our agreements, there are four very powerful agreements that will help us break those agreements that come from fear and deplete our energy. Each time you break an agreement, all the power you use to create it returns to you. If you adopt these four new agreements, they will create enough personal power for you to change the entire system of your old agreements. You need a very strong will in order to adopt the four agreements. But if you can begin to live your life with those agreements, the transformation in your life will be amazing. You will see the drama of hell disappear right before your very eyes. Instead of living in a dream of hell, you will be creating a new dream, your personal dream of heaven. All right. We got about 5 minutes left, so we can go ahead into chapter 2. The first agreement: be impeccable with your word. The first agreement is the most important one and also the most difficult one to honor. It is so important that with just this first agreement, you will be able to transcend to the level of existence I call heaven on earth. The first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. It sounds very simple, but it is very, very powerful. Why your word? Your word is the power that you have to create. Your word is the gift that comes directly from God. The Gospel of John in the Bible, speaking of the creation of the universe, says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word is God." Through the Word, you express your creative power. It is through the Word that you manifest everything. Regardless of what language you speak, your intent manifests through the Word. What you dream, what you feel, and what you really are will all be manifested through the Word. The word is not just a sound or a written symbol. The word is a force. It is a power you have to express and communicate, to think, and thereby to create the events in your life. You can speak. What other animals on the planet can speak? The word is the most powerful tool you have as a human. It is the tool of magic. But like a sword with two edges, your word can create the most beautiful dream, or your word can destroy everything around you. One edge is the misuse of the word, which creates a living hell. The other edge is the impeccability of the word, which will only create beauty, love, and heaven on earth. Depending upon how it is used, the word can set you free or it can enslave you even more than you know. All the magic you possess is based on your word. Your word is pure magic, and the misuse of your word is black magic. The word is so powerful that one word can change a life or destroy the lives of millions of people. Some years ago, one man in Germany, by the use of the word, manipulated a whole country of the most intelligent people. He led them into a world war with just the power of his word. He convinced others to commit the most atrocious acts of violence. He activated people's fear with the word, and like a big explosion, there was killing and war all around the world. All over the world, humans destroyed other humans because they were afraid of each other. Hitler's word, based on fear-generated beliefs and agreements, will be remembered for centuries. The human mind is a fertile ground where seeds are continually being planted. The seeds are opinions, ideas, and concepts. You plant a seed, a thought, and it grows. The word is like a seed, and the human mind is so fertile. The only problem is that too often it is fertile for the seeds of fear. Every human mind is fertile, but only for those kinds of seeds it is prepared for. What is important is to see which kinds of seeds our mind is fertile for and to prepare to receive the seeds of love. Take the example of Hitler. He sent out all those seeds of fear and they grew very strong and beautifully achieved massive destruction. Seeing the awesome power of the word, We must understand what power comes from our mouths. One fear of or doubt planted in our mind can create an endless drama of events. One word is like a spell, and humans use the word like black magicians, thoughtlessly putting spells on each other. Every human is a magician, and we can either put a spell on someone with our word or we can release someone from a spell. We cast spells all the time with our opinions. An example, I see a friend and give him an opinion that just popped in my mind. I say, I see that color in your face. I see that kind of color in your face in people who are going to get cancer. If he listens to the word and if he agrees, he will have cancer in less than 1 year. That is the power of the word. I don't, I don't, I don't know. I don't know about that one, but we'll see. We'll just keep going. I don't know about that one. During our domestication, actually, I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna read one more paragraph and then I'm done. Um, During our domestication, our parents and siblings gave their opinions about us without even thinking. We believed these opinions and we lived in fear over these opinions, like not being good at swimming or sports or writing. Someone gives an opinion and says, "Look, this girl is ugly." The girl listens, believes she is ugly, and grows up with the idea that she is ugly. It doesn't matter how beautiful she is, as long as she has that agreement, she will believe that she is ugly. That is the spell she is under. How much? Oh, okay. I'll just finish this page. By hooking our attention, the word can enter our mind and change a whole belief for better or for worse. Another example, you may believe you are stupid, and you may have believed this for a long time, for as long as you can remember. This agreement can be very tricky, causing you to do a lot of things just to ensure that you are stupid. You may do something and think to yourself, I wish I were smart, but I must be stupid, or I wouldn't have done that. The mind goes in hundreds of different directions, and we could spend days getting hooked by just that one belief in our own stupidity. And then one day, someone hooks your attention, and using the word lets you know that you are not stupid. You believe what that person says and make a new agreement. As a result, you no longer feel or act stupid. The whole spell is broken just by the power of the word. Conversely, if you believe you are stupid and someone hooks your attention and says, yes, you are really the most stupid person I have ever met, the agreement will be reinforced and become even stronger. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. We are reading The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. We were reading another book yesterday. We were reading A Taste of Power yesterday, but it kind of deviate reading a book that is just like someone's autobiography or autobiographical or biographical things is really informative. Like history stuff, like is really, really informative and really fun for me and for others as well. But it makes it hard because I'm not a teacher and I'm not in a classroom teaching. It makes it hard to I am so sick of my hair right now. So sorry y'all. I keep playing with it. It makes it hard to do the engagement part of the show. So, my hair is bugging the hell out of me. So, I went back to a self help book. We are reading the Four Agreements. And then after the Four Agreements, if we can finish the Four Agreements in time, then we'll be able to start the Mastery of Love right around Valentine's Day. So, that might be fun. But this is another book by Don Miguel Ruiz about the mastery of love. But the Four Agreements is important to read before reading that one. So that's what we're going to do. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for everybody that popped in. And I hope that y'all have a great night. I hope y'all have a lovely night. And I'll see you tomorrow at 6. Bye. Bye.